After months of tough talks and threats of massive cuts, San Diego City Council has approved its new budget. In the end, some services like library and recreation center hours were saved from the chopping block, but how they'll be funded remains unclear. CBS 8's Richard Allen is here now with more on what's being saved and how they're going to pay for everything. Richard?
Well, that's right. And it's been a long road to get to today's vote, Carlo. Now, keep in mind when this budget process first began several months ago, the city of San Diego was facing a projected deficit of more than $250 million. Now, today's approved budget, which under law must be balanced, restores many services and resources that were going to be cut. But whether Mayor Todd Gloria will sign off on this new budget remains to be seen.
That does pass 7-2 with Councilmember Campbell and Councilmember Moreno voting no.
Under the final budget, Monday hours at 16 of the city's 37 library branches will remain intact, although all libraries will be closed on Sundays. Recreation center hours throughout the city will not be cut.
Those restorations are extremely critical, and it's my opinion they should never have been put on the chopping block in the first place.
Also, recreational access was restored for the city's lakes and reservoirs, and the city's beach fire rings will also remain. Councilmember Henry Foster, chair of the city's budget committee, put forward these restorations, totaling more than $26 million, proposing a number of revenue-generating ideas, many which would still have to be voted on and implemented. These include not filling vacant management positions, charging non-residents to park at Balboa Park and the zoo, and charging for digital advertising and billboards.
I think the budget that Councilmember Foster has put forward and that I second actually is a balanced budget.
But the independent budget analyst raised concerns about these changes.
I hope that all of the assumed revenues in this come to fruition,
pointing out that any future economic headwinds, especially at the federal level, could force difficult decisions down the road.
They may come to fruition. If they do not, I do want to be clear that we will be forced to tap into reserves or have cuts in the middle of the year. As you're all aware, cuts are very, very difficult.
Councilmember Jennifer Campbell rejected the budget, unconvinced the city will be able to pay for these restored items.
I would have to be a no until I see numbers that prove to me that we can actually pay for everything that we're putting on our credit card.
Councilmember Vivian Moreno also voted no, based on what she pointed to as a lack of funding for storm channel and flood management. Following the vote, the mayor's administration was notably not enthusiastic about the final budget, saying in a statement, quote, "Last month, Mayor Gloria presented the city council with a proposed budget that was responsible, strategic, and balanced. Today, the council added tens of millions of dollars in new spending and changes, many of which raised concerns from both the independent budget analyst and the city attorney's office."
And that statement went on to say, quote, that over the next several days, the mayor and his team will closely review the council's amendments to ensure the final budget meets the level of fiscal responsibility this moment demands, especially given the current economic uncertainty and global instability, end quote. Now, the mayor has 5 days to either sign this into law or he could use his veto power to veto parts of it at least.
And he has a line item veto
That's
power.
Right.
So what happens if he goes through and cuts these additions that they've made, these added hours at libraries and rec centers?
Well, that could happen, and he would be the bad guy then.
Right.
But yeah, the council then has the option to override his veto with at least 6 votes, a supermajority. Keep in mind the vote today was 7-2. So if the council vote today remains intact, that supermajority stays in place. Keep in mind, though, under state law, you have to pass the city budget by June 15th and would go into effect by July 1st. So we only have 5 days to go.
So we're running out of time.
We're running out of time, big time.
Does set up an interesting dynamic
Yeah.
with that veto power. Richard Allen, thank you so much.
Thank you.